Introduction to inbound sales calls. In this series, we're going to talk about how to turn every single call that comes in into a car deal. Step number one, maybe the most important part of the entire process. Know what you're going to do or say before the phone rings. So often we mystery shop dealers, either in live seminars or on just our regular mystery shops. And we'll call up a dealership and we will say, hey, do you still have the XYZ vehicle that is on the website? And more often than not, the call goes like this. Oh, you're looking for the XYZ vehicle. Let me check here. Give me just a second. How's your day going? And people fumble through the call and they essentially become order takers and not salespeople. If your only success is dependent upon if you have the car or not, then you are very much cutting yourself short. Know what you're going to do, know what you're going to say before the phone rings. Know that you're going to compliment the buyer's choice as the go to first move. Know that your goal is to either have an appointment that comes in and buys a vehicle or to complete the purchase virtually. The buying process is for the buyer. So know what you're going to do, what you're going to say before that phone even rings. Expand your inventory. If somebody calls you on a vehicle and it is sold, you still have a car buyer on the phone. So often, again, on the mystery shops, we'll hear, oh, I'm sorry, that vehicle sold before the inventory is ever expanded. Just because somebody calls you on a certain vehicle, it does not mean they're absolutely married to that vehicle. Which way is going to be more effective? Oh, I'm sorry, that one sold. Would you take something else though? Or, okay, you called on XYZ vehicle. That's a great choice. I'll be more than happy to check on that vehicle for you. It won't take me long at all, and you called the right place. What a great vehicle. While I'm checking on that vehicle that you called in on, we have so many vehicles down here. I could also check on other stuff that's like it too and expand that inventory. Make the inventory bigger. Don't immediately say, oh, I think that vehicle sold, or oh, I'm sorry, we just sold that. Or I wish they'd do a better job updating the website, because you're turning off the buyer. If you think a vehicle sold, expand the inventory before you ever jump too deep into the details. And we all know this. Sometimes we're wrong. We think a vehicle sold and it isn't. You're much more likely to be successful if you got 3 to 5 vehicles to talk about than just the vehicle that the buyer initially calls in on. Now, if you have the vehicle and the buyer's only interested in that vehicle, fantastic, set the appointment on it. Engage the trade-in. If 10 people buy a car from your dealership, 10 transactions are completed. Out of the 10, how often is there a trade? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Engage the trade-in. A lot of times, payment objections, price objections, availability objections, whether or not the buyer's considering going to multiple dealerships and trying to decide if they're going to pick you, can be handled by engaging the trade-in. Yeah, I'll be more than happy to check on that price for you. It's not going to take me long at all. Hey, what are you driving now? Are you driving one of these vehicles now? Oh, cool. What are you going to do with that one? You're planning on trading it in. They just gave you an appointment. If you get excited about the buyer's car, we need cars like that. We're actually looking for vehicles like yours now. The more excited you get about their current vehicle, the more likely it is that they're going to come in. If they set an appointment purely based on a trade appraisal, great. That's somebody that we would love to have at the dealership. And there's a substantial chance that if we buy their vehicle, they're going to buy ours. Gather quality information. Less than 20% of salespeople gather a buyer's email address. And I'm being pretty liberal there, saying that it's probably only about 5 to 10% when we look at national data of training clients and non-training clients. Gather quality guest information. Get the buyer's email address. More often than not, the email address is not gathered. A second phone number is not asked for. We can't always get 2 phone numbers. We should ask for one though. All right, buyer, I'm going to give you a courtesy call should something happen on this end. If I miss you at the number you gave me, is there another phone number that would be good for you? Yeah, you can call me on the office line. Or more effective, that's going to have a very high probability of success is, okay, great. We're all set up for 5:45 this evening. And what's your email address, please? I want to send you some additional information. In almost every single case, especially when you have the appointment, the buyer is going to give you their email address if you just ask for it. Ask for the email 100% of the time. Ask for an additional phone number every single time. Even though the phone number is going to come less often, you'll still get it a lot of the time. The hold. Utilizing the hold instead of hanging up. Something I like to ask in live seminars. And I could ask a room full of salespeople this, and I get the same answer every single time. Now, they don't always follow through on what they say here either. The spirit, though, is right. The attitude is right. I'll ask a room full of people this. Would you ever let somebody leave a dealership, leave your showroom floor, without asking them to buy a vehicle today? Would you ever ask somebody to leave the dealership without buying a vehicle? And of course, the whole room goes, no, 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 I would never let somebody leave without asking them to buy a car. True or not true, they believe it in the moment. So if you believe you should never let somebody leave the dealership without asking them to purchase a vehicle, then you should never hang up the phone without asking for the appointment. Don't hang up to call the buyer back. If you need to check on something quickly, utilize a brief hold. 10 to 15 seconds is often more than enough time to go like this. Can you hang on just 1 second, please? Let me check on something. You cup the phone, you turn to the person next to you. Hey, is that red truck still available? Find out the information. You're so much more effective if you do it live on the call than without hanging up. We all know if we hang up the phone with somebody, it could be very difficult to get them back on the line. And last, but not definitely least, always go for the close. Always go for the close, whatever the close is. If the close is the appointment, great, go for it. If you're talking to a buyer that's 3 states away, get a commitment on what they're trying to do and send them a link to the digital retailing tool. Whatever the goal is, go for it. And the goal is usually the close, and the close is usually the appointment. Whatever success is, though, whatever you consider success on a sales call, make sure you go for that every single time and you go for the close.